Hey Cowboys Nation, it's your boy Alex, and before we start I need to be real with you. Most of you who watch me are not subscribed yet. You come here every day for updates, for injury news, for everything about the Dallas Cowboys, but you still don't hit that subscribe button. So right now, before anything else happens, go down and press subscribe and join the family, because 2025 is a huge season and you don't want to miss a single update. Now listen closely, because this news hurts, like really hurts. The Cowboys just got hit with one of the biggest season blows we could ever imagine. CeeDee Lamb, yes, our star wide receiver, the heart of our offense, the man who makes defenses sweat, is injured, and it's not a small injury. It's not a little scare. This is a serious season-shaking big blow type of injury. Imagine waking up thinking 2025 was going to be the season where Dallas returns to glory, the season where our offense becomes unstoppable, the season where Dak and CeeDee finally complete their legacy story, only for reality to hit like a linebacker with full speed straight to the chest. That is exactly what this injury feels like, and I want to say this clearly. This is not just some injury report. This is a turning point moment for the Cowboys, a moment that can change how this season will look, how it will feel, how it will end. Now, for the people who maybe don't understand the NFL very deeply, let me explain something. CeeDee Lamb is not just a good player, he is a game changer. Any team that loses a receiver like him doesn't just lose yards or catches, they lose confidence, rhythm, hunger, momentum, and most importantly, they lose fear from the defense. CeeDee Lamb is the guy who makes defenses adjust their whole plan. When he is on the field, three corners are worried, safeties stay deeper, linebackers hesitate, and the pass rush slows down because the secondary is under pressure. So him being injured doesn't just affect his spot, it affects the whole field. Now suddenly defenses won't fear the deep ball like before. Suddenly safeties feel more free. Suddenly double coverage becomes single coverage. Suddenly Dallas has to fight harder to create the same impact. Now I know some of you are thinking, Alex, calm down, it might not be that bad, maybe he'll return, maybe he's out for only a few weeks. But guys, the early signs are not giving us comfort. The Cowboys medical staff is watching this very closely, and when teams stay quiet, that means they are worried. When coaches stop giving timelines, that means it might be serious. And I know Cowboys fans, we survived Amari Cooper leaving, we survived Michael Gallup injuries, we survived defensive line changes, we survived quarterback pressure, but this hits different. This one hurts because this was our prime weapon. Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb had that chemistry, that connection, that magic, that unspoken football language that made every big moment look easy. That one look from Dak, that slight shoulder move from CeeDee, that perfect route timing that gave Dallas one of the most dangerous passing duos in the league. And now in 2025, that duo story is paused, and that is what makes it painful. But listen, Cowboys Nation, pain is part of football. Injuries don't ask for permission, they don't care about hopes or dreams, they just happen. But how a team responds to pain tells the real story. How a team builds itself after a big blow shows the real championship heart, and the Cowboys right now are standing at that moment. Now let's talk about what might happen next, because football never stops after a big injury. Team fans don't only cry, they start calculating, they start predicting, they start rebuilding the season in their minds. So what options does Dallas have now? First, let's talk about the current roster, the guys who have to step up: Jalen Tolbert, Rico Dowdle, Brandon Cooks, if healthy, Kevontae Turpin. These guys now hold heavier responsibility than ever before, especially Brandon Cooks, because he is the most experienced receiver in that room. He has seen playoff seasons, clutch comebacks, pressure games, veteran responsibility moments, and now it's his time to lead. Then comes Turpin, who is a burst of energy every time he touches the ball, fast, unpredictable, and fearless. He might not be CeeDee, but he is a spark that Dallas can build plays around. Then Tolbert, a young receiver with raw talent. Now many people might be hearing his name casually, but let me tell you, this is how the NFL works. A star gets injured, a young name gets a chance, and then boom, sometimes that young name becomes the next breakout story. So maybe Tolbert steps up like we didn't expect. That is one road. Now second road could be making a trade. We all know Jerry Jones and the Cowboys front office. They don't sit quiet when their offense gets weak. They start calling teams, they start checking contracts, they start looking for players who might be undervalued and used or available. You know, Cowboys fans, already we are seeing rumors everywhere: social media, analysts, NFL insiders. Everyone is throwing names saying Dallas might call this team or look at that receiver now. I'm not here to spread fake rumors, but I will tell you this clearly: if Dallas wants to keep 2025 alive, they will have to explore the trade market. That is how a team protects its goals, because you don't replace CeeDee from wishful thinking, you replace him from strategy. Third road is changing the offensive plan, meaning instead of throwing 35, 40 passes a game, Dallas might have to balance the offense more lean. More on the run game, use more play action, more short passes, more TE involvement. That means Jake Ferguson, Luke Schoonmaker, more routes, more targets, more responsibility. And let me tell you, Cowboys Nation, when your WR1 is injured, suddenly your tight end becomes your security blanket, a safe pass route for your quarterback. Now, some fans might say, hey Alex, maybe this opens Dallas to become less predictable on offense. That is also possible, because when teams lose their star weapon, they sometimes stop forcing one target, and that makes the offense more spread out, which can confuse defenses in a different way. But still, the fact remains that CeeDee was our explosive weapon, our touchdown machine, our highlight moment printer. Now, let's slow down for a second, because I want you to imagine CeeDee's 2025 storyline before the injury. He was entering the season with massive expectations, coming off previous seasons of dominance. Shoulders shaking, yak burning, defense breaking confidence. His route running was sharper, his hands were elite, his confidence was loud, and the Cowboys were building the offense around him. They were designing red zone plays, 3 RD down calls, deep bombs, pressure passes. Everything had his fingerprint. That is what makes losing him feel like losing a piece of your car engine in a race. Now let's talk about CeeDee himself, because behind every injury headline there is a human, a player, a fighter, a man with pride. This guy loves football. He doesn't strike me as someone who will accept sitting on the sidelines quietly. He is probably right now grinding with rehab, watching tape, feeling that fire in his chest, wanting to run onto that field and prove something. Injuries for star players are not only physical, they are mental. They make players angry, they make players more determined, more locked in, they turn pain into fuel. So let me say this clearly, Cowboys Nation, if and when he returns, he will return with rage, with hunger, with that prove your doubts wrong energy. Now, many people might be watching this video with that emotional question in their heart: will this injury destroy 2025? Will Dallas collapse without him? And the answer is not simple, because football is never simple. But I can tell you this: the Cowboys are not a weak team. They are tested, pressured, roasted on media, hated by rivals, supported by millions, doubted almost every year, and yet they still fight. So no, 2025 is not over. 2025 is challenged, and challenges create stories, stories create legends, legends create Super Bowl.